Hello and welcome to Happily Ever Reality. I'm so glad that you're here. Today we are talking about Sister Wives Season 17, Episode 11, but we are specifically talking about the end of that episode where they all get together to say goodbye to Christine. I have a lot to say about this get together, and I'm sure you guys do too, but let's start with the day before where Mykelti and Tony are over at Christine's house helping her move, and Mykelti starts to talk about whether or not there's any plans to say goodbye.
In charge. As soon as Mykelti got here, she just took over. She took charge. She's very good at reading me. She knows I'm overwhelmed. She knows I'm like, I just need to go.
If you've already watched the episode, you know it's kind of funny to hear that because Mykelti does come in and she sort of takes charge, and it does help Christine out in the moving process, but Mykelti also takes charge of organizing the get-together, and Christine says that Mykelti is good at reading her. Mykelti seems to miss the mark here. She doesn't read that her mom is just ready to go. So she organizes this party even though her mom is not quite on board.
In a way, her leaving this house it's a really big door closing on a massive chapter of her life.
I wanted to throw this clip in here because I feel like this was Mykelti's motivation. I think she thought her mom needed closure, and I also don't think Mykelti realized everything that had been going on between Kody and the wives. Like, Mykelti wasn't there for that meeting. She wouldn't have been able to have seen her father's reaction to Christine, so she doesn't have that hindsight. She doesn't have the ability to understand all of the dynamics. And then she has this perspective, and she is right. It's a huge change for Christine. So there does need to be some sort of closure.
Is any of the family, are you guys going to do anything like a goodbye? Is the family going to come over for social distance breakfast outside tomorrow? Are they going to drive by and wave? Are we going to go dump toilets on their lawn? Like, what are we doing? What's the plan?
I have no idea what dumping toilets on someone's lawn is, but I really wish they would have done that. Like, it would have been so much nicer just to have everyone drive by and honk and wave and maybe hold up a sign, because the meeting that is to come is just not pleasant. At least I don't think so. But you can tell there Mykelti sort of feels like it should be like a going away party. She really does think it should be something exciting. So I think her heart was in the right spot, but you can tell by Christine's reaction, Christine knows this probably isn't a good idea.
No, I don't think we're doing anything like that.
Nobody's going to come over and say bye?
I don't think so. No one said anything.
I think that's stupid.
I told all the adults that I was packing up and leaving tomorrow.
But what about the kids?
I don't know what to do. What do you want me to do?
You know how when someone's talking and something is emotionally painful, they kind of get like that lump in their throat kind of sound? I feel like you can hear that when Christine is responding. I think this is like an emotional issue. Like, I think she wants to know that she mattered and she wants a goodbye, but I think she knows this isn't a good idea.
This is your last night here.
If they wanted to come over, it would be great.
I want my mom to have everybody say goodbye to her, because it's not like she's divorcing my dad, but she's not saying, okay, peace out, I'm done with every single one of you.
I really wish, and I sort of hope, that Christine had an honest, private conversation with Mykelti and said, when I spoke to everyone, I did tell Robyn and Meri that I needed some space. I think this might have turned out differently. I feel like my mother would have done that if I was pushing for this. It might have been a hard thing for Christine to say to Mykelti, but I think it would have given Mykelti a little bit more insight into why her mom was resistant to this idea.
If you want to say something, that's fine, but keep it to the Flagstaff family. Then you don't need to have a video on
I'll keep it to the
everybody.
Flagstaff family.
If you want to say something, that's fine. I don't want to pressure anybody at all.
I want to.
Did you hear that little "I want to" that Mykelti threw in there? I have to admit, it annoyed me when I watched it. It annoys me a little bit now. It reminds me of Kody. So I don't know. I'm trying to be open-minded. I know that's Kody and Christine's daughter, so she wants them to still have positive feelings about each other, but man, it's so clear that Christine doesn't want it.
My mom's honestly upset that I'm pushing her so much to have people come over and say goodbye, because my mom wants to be done.
Again, this just goes back to that idea that Mykelti hasn't seen everything that's been happening, and Mykelti has her own life now. She's an adult, married, doing her own thing. I feel like Christine has sort of said her goodbyes in her own way. It might not be actually saying goodbye, but she is done. You know, like when Robin said that Christine had released the relationship, I think Christine's there. I think the goodbye already happened. It's just not a goodbye party.
But I think that she'll regret it if she doesn't get a goodbye. And I think so will they. They'll regret not saying goodbye just as much as she will.
Unfortunately, I just don't think that's true. I don't think anyone needed a goodbye as far as the wives and Cody and Christine went, but I do think Christine needed a goodbye with the children. And when I say children, you know what I mean, like the adult children, the children that she helped raise. I think she needed to like have a moment with them, even though it wasn't a real goodbye forever, because we know that Christine's going to stay close to Janelle's kids. I think having even just one or two of them be a part of her leaving and like kind of closing that time and that period of her life, I think that would have been very helpful for Christine. But I don't think that the other wives are going to regret not saying goodbye, and I don't think Cody will at all.
And it'll make it so everybody can't look back on this moment and be happy for my mom.
If there was ever any proof needed that Christine doesn't talk bad about Cody to her kids, I think these confessionals with Mykelti would be it. Because if she was telling Mykelti, if Christine was telling Mykelti about how Cody was responding to this whole situation, telling her about the anger, I think Mykelti would have known this was a bad idea. But I think this is sort of proof that Christine doesn't let her kids know everything. Even when she was standing in there in the garage talking to Mykelti about this whole saying goodbye thing, she didn't say, we shouldn't do this, there's a lot of anger. She didn't say any of that. I sort of wish she did, because Mykelti is an adult. I think she should be able to handle a little conversation about it. Christine doesn't have to give details, but I do think Christine completely, she doesn't talk about Cody. So this to me is evidence, just more support of Christine.
One of my big things with my mom leaving the family is I didn't want it to create this massive divide in my family that would make it so the siblings wouldn't talk to each other or the parents wouldn't talk to each other.
Sometimes when I watch a reality show, I do wonder if we're getting to see the whole picture, or if things are being dramatized in a certain way where we're not really understanding what's happening. And her saying that makes me wonder, like, is there something either we don't understand, or maybe she doesn't see because she is out living her own life with her own family and having a baby? Because I feel like this family's already pretty well divided up. They're on teams, they've taken sides. So I don't see Christine suddenly forming a bond with Robin and calling her kids. I don't see that coming out of nowhere. So she's talking about making sure there's no divide. To me, I feel like there's already a pretty big divide in this family. So we go from Mykelti's confessionals to the night of the gathering. I'm using the word gathering because I keep wanting to say goodbye party, and it's definitely not a party. And then I was saying goodbye get together, and get together just sounds pleasant, but it's not pleasant. So I'm going with gathering. If you guys can think of another word for this, let me know, because it's definitely not a pleasant thing. So yeah, they're all just showing up at Christine's house, and we see them arriving, and Cody is in the car with Robin's, I don't want to say Robin's children, but Robin's children. Those kids are all in the car with him. So we already see the great divide happening here in the family.
I felt it best for us not to get in the way, say anything, say goodbye or anything like that. I was just gonna stay out of the way.
Because of copyright issues, I couldn't show that full confessional altogether, but what Robin had actually said before that was that she was basing this on what Christine said. She was trying to respect that Christine needed space from her, so she was not going to interfere with her moving or even go say goodbye. She was going to give Christine space. I don't always enjoy Robin, but I did appreciate that Robin was actually listening to Christine.
I thought there was a party. I guess not.
Cody frequently annoys me, but this was exactly how I was feeling. Like, I wish it was a party. I wish there was food. I wish there was some sort of distraction. I wish someone had ordered some pizzas so they could walk up and like have something to eat or do. But just walking to the backyard of nothing, just grass. I don't know. Like you can tell that this is not going to go well just based on the fact that there's nothing to distract everyone.
You know, we can't go in the house. Because we got to be COVID social distanced.
Okay, I want to know who laughed when they heard that. I actually laughed out loud. I did a full-on LOL, real deal, out loud, because come on, Cody, we all know you went to the wedding. We all know you danced all over the dance floor. Did everyone there have a COVID test? No. Now, I guess it's possible he went to the wedding and actually stood 6 feet from most of the people there, but I just find that incredibly hard to believe, and I could probably go back and watch that episode again and prove that he didn't stand 6 feet away from everyone, but now he's over at Christine's house, and once again, they're going to follow all of the COVID protocols. Absolutely ridiculous. I bet this poor little girl is like, why is it we only go some places and follow the COVID rules? Why is there only certain people we have to stand 6 feet away from? Absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't believe I heard it in this scene.
And then Mykelti called me and she was like, Robin, I think it would be best if you came and you guys came and said goodbye.
Gosh, Mykelti, thanks for making that phone call. I don't know. I'm trying to not be super, super annoyed with Mykelti for this whole thing because I do think she was just naive about the situation. But man, as a viewer, gosh, it makes her seem very pushy and almost like she's forcing sort of this uncomfortable situation on everybody. But I'm trying not to be that way. I'm trying not to feel negatively about Mykelti, but it's a little bit tough. She's definitely not like reading the room well when it comes to her family.
Yeah. It's raining. I'm leaving in 5 minutes.
Cody just has a way with words, doesn't he? Like, he just knew when to throw in that little line there to make it clear he was unhappy. And I really think he did it just for the cameras. And you know what? There was no reason to say that in front of the kids. His tone and that statement makes it clear to the kids that they should all be unhappy to be there. Their dad is too. And yeah, it's just unnecessary. Unnecessary stuff, Cody. You didn't need to run your mouth.
Hi, everybody.
Oh gosh, that was terrifying.
We're outside right now.
Oh, nice. In the backyard?
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, what's taking everybody so long? Hurry up. You know Cody's only got a few minutes. His 11-year-old daughter is only moving states away and he's hardly ever going to see her, but this is a huge inconvenience for Cody.
I'm not in a good place here.
You know, it's funny hearing him say that. I don't think he's in a good place. I think he's going through stuff. Another commenter in my previous video, or maybe the one before, referred to him as being in crisis. I do think Cody's got something going on. I think he needs to go to therapy alone. I think something's not going well with Cody. But you know what's weird is I don't know that it necessarily has to do just with Christine leaving, because I can remember seasons ago where I thought Cody seemed on edge. There's something going on with him emotionally, mentally. So he's not in a good place now, absolutely, but I don't think he was in a good place before this.
This is such an awkward moment.
See, Christine said it and Cody said it. I wonder if anyone tried to talk to Mykelti about it. What do you guys think? Do you think there were any, did they put any effort in saying, no, we shouldn't do this? Do you think Cody did it for the show? What do you guys think about this? Do you think Mykelti was pushy with them and they were actually, trying to get out of it? Or do you think they both just went along with it?
There is such a strike to all my feelings and all the work that I've done.
I'm not going to use the word hate because I don't like using that word. So I'm going to say I strongly dislike when Cody talks about all the work and all the effort. And I don't like it when they say they invested. Robin uses that one. We've invested so much. It doesn't matter if you're investing and working and putting in effort. Sometimes you put in tons of effort and work and invest a lot and things just don't function well. It doesn't all go well. It doesn't work out in the end. You have to be able to say that. You have to be able to admit it. But Cody never does. He just focuses on all the investing and working he put into relationships and his marriage and his family. And it just annoys me.
It's not even right. It feels so demeaning.
I know that most viewers of the show are on Christine's side when it comes to her leaving, but if you take some time to think about Cody and how he feels, it makes sense that he would refer to this whole situation as demeaning, because in his mind, he just got rejected. He just had someone say they didn't want to be with him. Cody doesn't have any accountability, so he doesn't see that he did anything wrong. So this isn't a moment where Cody's like, you know what? I'm sad that this is happening. Cody has a mixture of anger and sadness because he was rejected, and now he's supposed to go over to Christine's and say goodbye to her. Yeah, this is just another reason this was a bad idea. And what upsets me is that the kids had to witness it. It was clear that Cody didn't want to be there. It was clearly awkward, and the kids now have those feelings. They witnessed all of this. This should have been a moment where Cody told, Christine, I want to take Truly out for dinner before she goes, and talk to Truly and say, hey, you know what, Truly, I know that you're moving, but we're still going to see each other. I thought we could go ahead and make plans for a weekend where I come to Utah, and made some exciting plan for her so that she knows her dad is really going to show up and be there and going to take time to see her one-on-one. They could have done something together that would have been nice. It still would have been good television. I would have watched a nice dinner between the two of them. One of you guys, I would have liked this so much more, but it just boiled over to the kids, and that is why I think I disliked this so much. No, I can't even think of what reason this would have needed to have happened, because Christine already said everything that she needed to say at that meeting when she said she was moving. The kids now have had this whole awkward situation, and we all saw Robin's children's facial expressions. Those girls had the same frown that Robin has. So it's rolled over to the kids now, and now they have this memory that is just negative. This is not a positive experience, and the whole thing stinks. I'm not a fan. I didn't want this to happen. I would have gladly watched Cody and Truly have a nice goodbye. It would have done a lot to make me like Cody more.
And bless Mykelti's heart, she wants to affirm that the family's still a family. And I'm in this sort of weird place where, I'm like thinking I don't want to see Christine ever again.
How do you think Mykelti's going to feel if she ever sees that? I don't necessarily have an issue with Cody being honest, but I do wonder what Mykelti will think in the future if she ever sees that scene. So Cody and Robin's children are already there, but then Janelle and her children arrive, and what's interesting is they all walk up to each other and they're hugging. So there's no social distancing here.
Hi, honey. What's up, guys?
So again, this is just another example of a divide. We see it with the cars pulling up, who's Cody with. Now we're seeing it with the way they interact with each other. It's just so obvious. And I think we already know it, but you see it here very clearly.
I'm not really sad about Dad and Christine breaking up. I'm really sad that Christine is moving.
Does anyone find it crazy that all of these adult children are able to see that the relationship between Cody and Christine wasn't working, but Cody can't see it? I've yet to hear an adult child say, oh, they were so in love, we can't believe this happened. Every one of them has kind of been okay with it. It wasn't working, and they know it. Yet Cody seems completely surprised.
I'm not gonna, sit here and blame her for doing it. If I was in her shoes, I would do the same.
I can't really put my finger on what it is, but Gabriel has a way of making me feel so sad when I watch this show that it makes me want to cry. I got teary-eyed watching this scene. I think it makes you realize all of the kids have witnessed this, and they love Christine, whether or not she's biologically their mom or not. They feel like she's a mom to them, and they've watched her be treated unfairly. And kids hurt for their parents. When they see something happen to their parents, kids feel sadness. And I think Gabriel is one of the kids who kind of wears it on his sleeve. You can see that he is hurt by this whole situation. And I think he's hurt for Christine, and I think he's probably hurting for his mom too.
The real reason why I was not there, the actual reason, was because I was out of town. I was up at my B&B. And also, I don't know how weird it would have been.
Sometimes Mary gets things so wrong, but then other times she gets it so right. She nailed it. It's super weird. She should be thankful she wasn't there. I've always been a fan of Mary's. I think she just gets it here. Mary actually gets it.
If I was, knowing that she really wasn't interested in having a relationship with me, so why be there and do some big goodbye?
It's clear based on what Robin said earlier and what Mary's saying here. They both heard Christine loud and clear. She needs space and she doesn't want to see them. It sounds like both of them really wanted to respect that. And I'm sure their feelings are hurt. I'm sure they're like, we don't want to be around you either. Let's get real. If someone told me that, I'd be like, no, I'm not going to their goodbye gathering. Like, they probably didn't want to go. I have a feeling though, Mykelti is what got to Robin, and Robin really doesn't have an excuse. She's right there in town. So I think she showed up for Mykelti, and I think she showed up to go along with Cody.
It's awkward outside. It's weird. It's intense. Nobody really wants to be here. Dad doesn't want to be here. Robin doesn't want to be here. Mom doesn't want to be here.
So do you guys think Mykelti regretted doing this once she realized how uncomfortable everyone was? Like, do you think there was a moment when she was standing there where she was like, oh no, this was a really bad idea?
It's weird. It's intense, and it's uncomfortable.
And thick.
I really appreciate that Tony was able to provide some comic relief there in the confessional, but it would have been nice if he did it at the gathering. However, that would have made it last longer, so maybe in his mind, if he didn't say anything, it was going to end as soon as possible.
Truly, hey, are you okay that you're moving tomorrow?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is how I talk to children that I don't know very well. Like, if I know something about them, I'll ask a random question like, hey, I heard you had a basketball game last night. How'd it go? Hey, I heard you're moving. Are you excited? Like, Cody's interaction with Truly is how I interact with people I don't know very well. So I don't know which one of us has a problem. I can't figure it out, but I do think it might be him. I think that it was a really, really weird interaction.
Once again, in my state of bitterness, I'm trying to box Christine in. I think she's doing something wrong.
It's fine that Cody thinks that Christine is doing something wrong, but what's not okay is to show up there and let all of the kids see that.
You sure? Mm-hmm. Where's your smile?
I don't know, Cody. Where is your smile? She is going through something emotional, and he is sitting there being negative. He walked in there saying he was only staying for 5 minutes, acting really weird and strange to his own daughter, and then he's asking her where her smile is. No, he is adding another layer of negativity to this whole thing. Of course she's not thrilled. What does he expect?
No smiles about it, huh? Sorry. All right. Well.
That is the most uncomfortable and awkward interaction I think I've ever seen between a father and a child ever. And it just infuriates me that this happened to her, that she had to go stand in her backyard of the home that she's moving out of with a father that she is moving away from, while he pulls up in a car with the children that he has prioritized again and again. And then he acts like that. It is cold. If he could not behave better for her, he shouldn't have came. He shouldn't have came. It just makes me so sad for Truly.
I don't know. She could have stayed here. She could have stayed in this house. And very likely, Gwendolyn and Isabel might have stayed here as well. I don't know.
It is not Christine's responsibility to make those children stay near Cody. If Cody had a good relationship with the kids, they might have stayed there. They might have felt like they had family there in Flagstaff and stayed. But even if they didn't, that would have been okay if he had a good relationship with them. Adult children frequently move away and start their own lives. But if you're close with them, they call you, they contact you, they're going to have Zoom sessions, FaceTimes. They're going to make the time to see you and talk to you because they're still going to need you. But that relationship isn't there with Cody, so he wants to put all that pressure on Christine. It was Christine's responsibility to make sure he had a relationship with his kids. At least that's what he thinks. But that is not normal, and Cody needs to realize that.
I'm in a really bad state of mind. I feel like my life is being unraveled for me. This isn't something I want. I feel out of control.
It's interesting. I feel like Cody had a lot of warning. I think Cody should have seen this coming. I don't think this should be a surprise to him at all. So to me, it's always interesting when he says he's surprised or he didn't know this was going to happen or he feels like it's unraveling. I'm like, this is the slowest unravel of all time.
Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it.
I feel like in that moment, you can tell she's trying to just say something to ease the tension, open the door to conversation because it's so awkward. Or maybe she's trying to bring it all to an end. I really don't know, but you can tell it's a little bit forced. They're trying to keep things rolling and get through the moment.
This is fun. It's bittersweet, but it's nice that like
I wanted to stop it there. Did you almost hear Mykelti say fun? It's bittersweet but fun. And then she was like, no, this ain't fun. Nice. Because this is really the opposite of fun. Definitely not the word that she would want to use there.
like we're all here and we can all be here together like the last night that Mom's here in Flagstaff. So I'm really glad. Like I think this is probably something that's one of the hardest things that this family is going to have to go through.
I'm really glad that Mykelti did start saying something, and she kind of made it clear when she was speaking, she wanted to do this, and this is the reason. So I'm glad that she was speaking during this, because it was just weird. They were all standing on the opposite sides from each other, and someone needed to just speak and talk about this.
But I think that it's awesome that we can all be here to show that at the end of this all, we are still a family.
Here's the thing. They are all still Mykelti's family, but Robyn and Christine are really no longer family. So from my perspective, this would have been something that, again, when there was like a milestone, like her daughter's first birthday, or maybe inviting everyone over for a Thanksgiving dinner. That was when they should have came back together. I don't think they should have came together for Christine's move.
So there's no one to blame for any of this. It's all just, it is what it is. And we should just all be grateful that even through this, we can remain a family.
Bless Mykelti's heart. I think she's just really naive. I don't have positive feelings about this at all. I think there's people there that will remain a family. They're all her family. But yeah, I think she's just very optimistic, and I don't necessarily have that sort of optimism for them. But what do you guys think? Do you think in the end, as some time passes, they'll be able to all come back together? I would just be surprised, because I don't feel like they're acting as a family as it is. So I don't really feel optimistic that the future is going to be any better for them.
And we can remain together, and that we can support each other still through all of it.
Yep. I just love how the camera person keeps showing Robyn's children's expressions because they are clearly not happy, and I'm not feeling a lot of support from the other side of the yard.
That's just what I think. I'm glad you guys are all here, because I think it's good to say goodbye to
This chapter.
This chapter. It's good to say
You
goodbye
said
to this
exactly
chapter.
what was in my heart I didn't know how to say it, so thank you.
Thank you, Janelle, for coming through when we need you. She did it again. We needed an adult to say something there. Not that Mykelti's not an adult, but we needed one of the wives or Cody to say something there. And Janelle just came through when she needed to. She is getting better and better at that.
So it's very apparent how awkward we all are, but Janelle and her kids are on one side and Robyn and Cody are on the other. And
I just want to congratulate the cameraman because he knew what to film. We just get to see over and over again Brianna and Aurora's facial expressions. And I have a feeling that's what everyone's going to talk about. Like, everyone's going to talk about those girls with their arms crossed and the Robyn frowns that have now moved their way over to their faces. I have talked in almost every video about how I feel like Robyn frowns all the time and then smiles when it's inappropriate, and I can't really wrap my head around it. It drives me crazy, but it looks like her kids might be inheriting this. Like, you can inherit your parents' frowns. I did not even know that.
none of us want to be here.
And I think most viewers don't want you to be there, Christine, because this is sad. I feel like she was in a better mood when she was packing up her belongings from her house. Like, this has been such a downer when I think Christine, even though she was feeling sad, I think Christine was feeling good. Like, you can feel sad and good. You can feel sentimental. That would be the right word. You get a little bit nostalgic. You get a little bit sentimental, but you're still happy about the future. This is not that kind of sadness. This is different.
Bye, Christine. Good luck.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Why did you and Dad break up?
And if it couldn't get any more awkward and uncomfortable, Ari asked that question. And you know what? She's a kid. I think it was innocent. I do believe that. I believe that was a very innocent question from her.
We just weren't in love anymore. You know, that happens sometimes.
I think that was a really good answer from Christine, but I do have a feeling that Cody was biting his tongue because I'm sure he wanted to run his mouth right there and give what he believed was an honest answer.
But we'll still hang out sometimes. We just weren't in love.
So I had made episode 10, and there were a few comments about Ari that were not very nice. Some people saying things about her personality. I have to tell you, I think she's a kid, and I think she's kind of funny and just says what's on her mind. She seems to be very outgoing and enjoy people. She's always so excited to see everyone. When they arrived at Christine's home, she said she wanted to go in Christine's house. She seems to be a kid who really likes people, and I'm sure she does want to know, why is she leaving my dad? Why is this other person in our family going away? I think all of this was super sincere, and I think her saying have dates was exactly what a little kid might think. Just go have more dates. It's going to be okay. So I don't have a problem with this. I just feel like there are going to be people who do, based on the comments from episode 10.
Oh, well, it doesn't always fix everything, my love, but thank you. What a good idea.
Christine handled that well. I think the hardest conversations often come when you're talking to kids because everything is so innocent and simple. And it's hard because you know how complex it is. So I think she handled that moment very well.
Not unlike all my children, imposing your view on the rest of us.
That's okay. It's good they have strong opinions because this world beats them down fast enough.
Once again, Janelle just comes through and says what I think needs to be said. I'm just so glad she's there sometimes. A lot of times, not just sometimes. She has a way of saying what I think a lot of viewers feel. Like Ari did nothing wrong. She said something innocent and asked a question that a lot of kids would want to ask. So I'm just glad Janelle was there.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
I
All right.
really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, safe travels. We'll see ya.
So everyone is about to leave and they are saying their final goodbyes. Fortunately, Cody does perk up a little bit and he uses a nicer voice, but listen to what he does next.
Thanks.
Only me, okay? All right, we'll see you, sweetheart. I love you. I love you.
Great question, Ari. Why do you only get to do the hugs? That is what she is saying to Cody. Why do you get the hugs? Why do you only get to do this? Can you believe that they followed the protocol then? Those kids should have went and got their COVID test so they could all be around each other. Like, it just makes me furious. Like, how weird. The whole situation is just so weird to me. And I know everyone may point out that, like, this was a year or so ago. Everyone was still following COVID protocols. But they weren't even following them all the time now. So why choose to do it at this moment? But Cody does go and hug Truly, which makes me happy because earlier it was just so weird. But he does hug her now to say goodbye.
Have a good trip, okay? All right? Your phone has video chat, and you and I can video chat. Okay? All right? Love you.
We love you.
The way Cody makes the comment about the phone makes me think that Truly either got her first phone or a new phone, because it just seemed like a little bit of an unusual thing to say if she already had one. But I think that's good. Now Cody won't be able to make any accusations that Christine is keeping Truly away from him. He can call her and she can FaceTime him whenever she wants to.
We're going to miss you and hope to see you soon, sweetie.
Yep, that right there, that's the proof that this family is super close. And I'm being sarcastic. I don't know if that is even something you can pick up on when I'm talking on these videos. Yeah, that is it just shows everyone's reaction. If you watch there, the Brianna and Aurora's, the only person there who seems to want to go be close to them is actually Ari.
Everybody's really angry, and it just seemed like Robin's kids were angry too. That was the hardest part, is that her kids are angry too.
I'm going to say this, and I'm sure there's going to be people who disagree with me. Her children, Robin's children, have no right to be angry. If none of the other adult children are angry, those kids who probably haven't even spent that much time with Christine, they definitely do not have a reason to be angry. Like, it's ridiculous. And this, to me, is proof that Robin and Cody are at the very least talking negative about Christine in front of the adult children in that home.
No, my kids weren't angry with her. They're sort of the innocent parties in all of this. All of the kids are. It's just devastating.
Does anyone else find it weird that the adult children in Robin's home are devastated when the kids that grew up with Christine are not devastated? I just think it's weird. Like, there has to be something else going on there. Like, these kids are getting older. I think they need to get out of the quarantined home and go and start to kind of have their own lives. I feel like they're just feeding off of whatever emotion their mother is kind of giving them.
All right, thanks you guys. Thank you for coming. Hey, it means a lot to me that you came.
All right. You guys needed
So as they're leaving, Christine starts to cry and Janelle comes over and consoles her, and so does Truly. She's like patting her mom on the back, which just adds a whole nother layer to me being upset that this had to happen. Is anyone else watching this and you're just like, this was so unnecessary? There were a million other ways this could have went down, and I don't know if it's TLC or it's Mykelti, I don't know, but it was just completely unnecessary.
I wouldn't have asked for this. I didn't ask for like having them all come over. It was important for Mykelti and for her and for everybody to see Truly. Probably was.
I struggle to understand exactly why this was important to Mykelti, like actually doing this in this way, but I definitely think that Truly needed a goodbye, but I don't think this is the way that it should have went down at all.
Thank you.
So if by some chance you are listening to this and not watching, and I imagine many of you do, you probably just heard those sounds of crying. That is Christine crying. Janelle and Truly are hugging her while Robin, her children, and Cody all stare at her. And I guess Mykelti and Tony are probably all staring from the side too, like the other people there. But just imagine that. Imagine you're sobbing, you're emotional, you're having this terrible, awkward moment, and your ex-husband is staring at you with his wife. Like, it's just horrible.
I think this was the worst goodbye that I've ever witnessed.
Me too, Christine. Me too.
We're out of here.
Bye. Thanks. Bye. Love you.
So they say their goodbyes and you get an aerial view of them and you realize then how far apart they were actually standing. Yeah, it's craziness to me. It's crazy. I am all about being safe with COVID, but at this point and knowing what they've done, or at least what Cody has done, as far as interacting with people, I can't believe this was the moment they had to stand 6 feet apart. This was definitely a long video. If you're still with me, thank you. And I'm sure if you're still with me, you have a lot of opinions about this too. Please leave those comments below. I look forward to reading them. I just wish this hadn't have happened. I wish this didn't go down like this. I wanted more for Truly, and you know what? It just added more sadness for Christine. So I wish this didn't happen. Go ahead and leave your comments below. If you haven't already, click like and subscribe, and come back for more Sister Wives and other reality TV show talk.